what's your full name?
Robert James Gipson.
And Mr. Gipson, do I have your permission to publish this on cable television and the internet?
Yes, you do.
This is William Wagner here doing a late night interview with Robert Gipson because tomorrow he has to voluntarily turn himself into prison for what kind of crime? For calling your child too often?
Yeah, they're saying that I harassed his mother, and so they're looking at the past and the present, and it boils down that there's 3 prior fraudulent court documents, court orders that have changed drastically in the last 5 years to the point where I only see my son 18 hours a month, and I can only call him 3 days a week. And when I call any other time, they said that was a violation of the court order, and they're giving me 6 months in jail.
What war did you serve in, Mr. Gipson?
I just served in the Iraq War in 2003 and 2004.
And what rank were you in what branch of the service?
I was a sergeant first class in the United States Army. I was basically a retired Army Ranger.
So you're a retired Army Ranger, and they want to put you, this female district attorney who never served a day in the military defending this country, wants to put you in jail for how long?
6 months, but this prosecuting attorney in Bentin County, Missouri, assisted the father, the stepfather of my child, held me hostage in my bedroom, and this same prosecuting attorney got him off with disturbing the peace and a $10 fine.
And the stepfather held you prisoner in your own bedroom?
Got him off with disturbing the peace and a $10 fine.
And the stepfather held you prisoner in your own bedroom?
In my own house, in my own bedroom with my child. He wouldn't let me out of the bedroom, and there was other witnesses and the prosecuting attorney. She did nothing. She also appeared in civil court hearings as a prosecutor attorney, just sitting in the seat in front of the judge for intimidation.
And what's this prosecuting female attorney's name?
Karen Woodley, Woodley,
and she's
Bentin County, Missouri.
That's Bentin County, Missouri? Office. Is she the elected district attorney or just a prosecutor for the office?
I'm not exactly how it works over there.
How old is your child?
I don't think she has a 2-year college degree, and you have to have a degree to be in that position.
How old is your child?
He will be 9 in 3 more days.
And when he celebrates his 9th birthday, you'll be sitting in a jail because the stepfather got away literally with felony charges of false imprisonment.
This is a misdemeanor. This is a misdemeanor. 6 months in jail for a misdemeanor.
But he got a $10 fine for committing a felony false imprisonment. Is that right?
The stepfather got a $10 fine for holding me hostage.
Right. And holding someone hostage in most states is a felony.
Yeah, but not in this town.
Well, they didn't charge him for that. So, does your 9-year-old, does he like to spend time with you? Does he like to talk to you?
Oh, he's always restricted. At one time, we had 7 days a week visitation, every other week for 7 days, 14 days a month. Now, I can't even see him 18 hours a month, and I can't even talk to him 3 times a week. Parental alienation at its worst. Child neglect and child abuse. My son has been burnt by an oven. He's been burnt by cigarettes. He's had jiggers from head to toe. He's been burnt by an open fire. He's had a smashed face. And when I filed a federal lawsuit against the prosecuting attorney and the judges here, the mother of my child broke his arm.
What month and year was that, sir?
I filed a federal lawsuit in Jefferson City, Missouri in 2009.
And you did that because the mother of the child broke his arm accidentally, or do you think she did it on purpose?
No, I filed a federal lawsuit against 45 defendants, starting with Governor Nixon all the way down to the local chief of police and the prosecuting attorney and the Children's Division in Missouri.
And did it do you any good?
No, the federal judge is friends with the Governor Jay Nixon.
The case, you lost the case in federal court.
Yeah, they dismissed it, and there was motions that were agreed upon without me even knowing about it. I knew after the fact.
Did you have an attorney at that point?
No, I'm pro se litigant. I already had 11 attorneys. I'm out $300,000. I'm done with attorneys. I've got enough experience in courthouse, more than a 10-year lawyer.
How could they make an agreement without your knowledge if you're representing yourself?
That's what happens. It happens in every level of court. The motions are filed. This particular motion was filed and decided on the same day. I didn't know until weeks later.
Wow. What's your son's name?
Casey Gipson.
Casey Gipson?
Yeah, Gipson. Yeah, you can see all the pictures of neglect and abuse, his physical injuries on my Facebook. If you go to Facebook and look at Robert Gipson, Gipson, you can see the pictures where he was burnt by an oven and all the other pictures of all his problems.
Why did they do this to your son?
Well, a lot of times, I know for a fact, sometimes it's been on purpose, and other times there's so much neglect, they fail to monitor him when he was younger. Just the environment that he's in is a very poor, nasty environment. It's just undescribable. It's terrible.
What did the Child Protective Service workers say when you reported this?
Well, they did nothing. That's why I filed a federal lawsuit against them, and other people called the hotline, and they turned around and said I'm exaggerating, and they basically ignored all the complaints and found everything to be unsubstantiated because she used to work for the family services.
Oh, the mother of your 9-year-old used to work for family services. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, she has their personal email. She emails them all the time. They're buddies.
So there's a conflict of interest here. Was that raised in the court proceedings anywhere?
Oh, yeah, even in the federal lawsuit. I'm not from this small town here in Bentin County. I'm an outsider, and I moved here after Iraq to be with my son, and I was attacked even before Iraq, and I moved here in 2005, and it's been a disaster.
Is your son alienated from you now?
Oh yeah. I mean, yesterday was my visitation, and I showed up, and she was not even there with my child, and I tried to call. There was no answer. And today I got a 2-minute phone call with him.
Had you known when you went to Iraq and Iran that your government, your court system, that you were fighting for in the army, in a foreign nation, would you have, if you'd known this was going to happen, would you have risked your life?
Well, before I went to Iraq, it caused a lot of problems because I used to fly here before I went to Iraq, and they harassed me and took my child even then. I knew what I was up against before I even went to Iraq, and when I was in Iraq, I was on top of a building one time, and I called the Children's Division to make arrangement for my child to get some money just in case I died. And then I made a hotline call from Iraq, and they said, "You're not in Iraq." I said, "What, you think I'm lying to you?" And they said, "Yeah."
Yeah, Julie Witherspoon had the same kind of problem dealing with family services. Los Angeles County in California has recently just taken direct control under the supervisors because of the many deaths of children under the auspices of Child Protective Services and Family Services. And it's taken the death of children before Los Angeles County recognized the system is really wicked, it's evil, and it's broke. And apparently it's the same way in Benton, Georgia. But it seems like your ex, she's got a personal thing going on with the workers there. So this prosecutor, Woodley, do you think she has a law degree?
No, I don't think she does.
And who is the judge that allowed this sentence to be handed down to you?
Well, one judge was Larry Burdett. Another judge was Mark Pilley. Another judge was Michael Hendrickson. And I recused Pilley twice. He was one time my lawyer, and he tried to plea bargain my child before he became a judge with the prosecutor. He wanted me to plead guilty to another accusation that I assaulted the mother. See, I've been arrested in the last 5 years. I've been arrested about 5 times. I'm going to be jailed now again. I've been pulled over about 6 times. They arrested me in my house one time and handcuffed me in my house. Mother's Day last year, they threw me on the ground in front of my child and arrested me. And then when I went to court, nobody was there. And about that was Mother's Day. And then what happened about 4 months ago? They changed the date on the court, and I thought I was supposed to be there on the 9th, and they actually rigged it so that it was going to be the 7th, and I missed court. And when I showed up on the 8th to pick up my child, they arrested me for failure to appear and locked me up and made me pay a $500 cash bond.
They played the switcheroo on you.
Yeah, that's what they do. They did it before, and I caught on to it, and I thought it was like a particular number, and I looked at the court docket, and it was actually the next morning.
Gotcha.
Good trick. They make a 7 look like a 9, and make a 9 look like a 7.
I ask you again, knowing what you now are going through and what you're going to go into jail for 6 months for a bullshit charge, if you could go back, would you still put your life on the line for a country this corrupt?
Well, when I went to Iraq, I didn't put my life on the line for corrupt government workers. I went there thinking about my child and other children throughout this world. I was at 9/11 for 12 days, and I was in the first responder at 9/11 for 12 days, and then I went to Iraq. And when I was at 9/11, I just couldn't bear seeing another airplane fly into that building, and I didn't want my son to ever see that in his lifetime. And I went to Iraq more so for children that will one day be here when we're not, you know. But when I came, I knew this was going to happen before I came back. And when I came back, I've contacted the FBI. I've contacted the Department of Justice. Other people have contacted the FBI and Department of Justice, and it appears that nobody wants to really do anything.
You notice that the FBI is pretty much a useless appendage, and it's all about the money, getting money out of you. It's not about justice or fair treatment or letting the children have equal time with the parents.